It's another week, which means it's another exciting week of comic book releases, and your boy Pete is here to run down what I think are 5 of the very best releases hitting stores this week, which is the 14th of October 2020. But before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all these excellent videos, and be sure to check out Collectors Assemble, who have a store in Banbury and Oxfordshire in the UK, as well as a Facebook page and an online store. Just search for Collectors Assemble UK in your search engine of choice and you will find their online website where you can order all the comics we speak about today, as well as much more. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's run down 5 of the best comics hitting stores this week. First up, it's from DC Comics, and it is Rorschach issue 1, a new miniseries featuring the character from The Watchmen. This series is set 35 years after the events of the original Watchmen series and features everyone's favourite kind of crazy man. It's Rorschach, not the Rorschach from the Watchmen series, because if you have read that, which I'm sure everyone has, everyone's read Watchmen by now, you will know that he perished at the end of the original series. So yeah, this is 35 years later, picking up after the events of the original, picking up after those events, but all this time later. Written by Tom King, who's done some amazing stuff for DC, as well as a few iffy things, but on the whole, he's been pretty darn good at his writing duties with DC. So I know this is anticipated by a lot of you. I'm going to be picking it up myself, so if I'm buying it, you should certainly be buying it too. New Rorschach issue 1, new miniseries. Hopefully this means more miniseries featuring other characters from the Watchmen universe. And now from Marvel, they have a big X-Men crossover going on at the moment, crossing over with all the different X titles. It is X of Swords, and maybe you're getting a little bit lost. Jonathan Hickman is an amazing writer, but he has big ideas, big concepts, and sometimes it can be a bit hard to completely follow what's going on. Well, they have got you covered at Marvel this week with X of Swords Handbook issue 1. This is like a profile book profiling different characters that are featured in the title, such as Apocalypse, Wolverine, Magic, many more. But this is like a comic that goes alongside the X of Swords crossover and gives you a bit more information on the characters and the events that are unfolding in that. So if you want everything you can get your hands on as far as X of Swords go, this is a must buy for you. If you maybe want to dip your toe into what's going on with this crossover, who the characters involved are, perfect jumping on point, and you can get the original pieces of this story in all good comic shops, especially in Collectors Assemble. Yeah, check out the handbook, find out more, learn all about these excellent X-Men characters. And now for a 12-issue maxi series from Image Comics. It is Commanders in Crisis issue 1, written by Steve Orlando. He did some excellent work on a Martian Manhunter maxi series for DC a year or so back, which I read and really loved. So yeah, Commanders in Crisis, brand new characters, brand new concept. It is what it sounds like, basically. Obviously, we've had a lot of Crisis events in DC Comics. Well, this is kind of taking on that sort of premise. There's a load of multiverses that are struggling, and loads of heroes from these multiverses come together to try and track down the killer of a murder that's gone on. So yeah, really cool stuff. If you like a big company-wide spanning event like a Crisis or a X of Swords from Marvel, this is kind of an Image version. Doesn't feature any characters from Image like Spawn or Savage Dragon that you know and love. It's all brand new characters, but it's featuring that Crisis concept. So a big events happened in this universe, and it's all about that. So yeah, really cool stuff. Steve Orlando, great writer. Like I said, he did a great run on Martian Manhunter just a year or so back, which I absolutely loved. So I'm going to be checking this one out myself, giving it a read and see what it's all about. But yeah, really cool stuff from Image. A good concept. Image likes to do these wild and wonderful things, featuring brand new characters and brand new surroundings that we've not seen before. And Commanders in Crisis issue 1 is no different. It's October, and that means Halloween is fast approaching, and DC do not miss a trick when it comes to seasons, and this week is no different with DC's Doomed and the Damned issue 1. It's a one-shot, it's a prestige format, it's a $10 book, but it features lots of writers, lots of artists writing kind of horror and scary stories featuring some of DC's finest characters like Man-Bat. Even Wonder Woman's involved in it. She's not scary, but maybe she will be in this. So yeah, really cool stuff. Like I say, a lot of different writers, lots of different artists. You've got a story in there from Garth Ennis, so if if you're a fan of The Boys on Amazon Prime and you're a fan of Preacher, things like that, pick this one up. Garth Ennis is going to be doing something wild and wonderful for DC in this. I buy all these seasonal event books from DC. I think they're a lot of fun, and you often get to read and see art by writers and artists that you might not have heard of before, and they might be the next big thing. So yeah, really, really fun stuff. It's a $10 book, but it's a bumper size issue. It's 84 pages, so you're getting plenty of pages for your money and lots of different stories featuring lots of different characters. It's a great way to maybe read some characters you've not read before and have a bit of fun with it as well. It's scary stuff, so be brave. It's spooktacular for all you DC fans out there. And last but by no means least, from Marvel, issue 1 of a 5-issue Warhammer 40k mini-series. Now, Warhammer, if you don't know, is a tabletop game featuring little space marines and aliens and all that sort of fun stuff. And people a lot more talented than me get these little miniatures and they paint them and make them look absolutely incredible. It's really, really cool stuff. But it also has a massive lore dating back decades. There's been lore in the games themselves, there's been books, there's been video games, and now there are comics from Marvel. So if you're a fan of Warhammer, especially the 40k version that's set in the future in space and all that sort of fun stuff, this is a book for you. Marvel have the license to create some great stories featuring these characters that you all know and love. I don't know a great deal about Warhammer. It's never really been my thing, but I know there's plenty of you out there who are big fans, who enjoy playing the games, who enjoy painting the miniatures. Well, now you can learn more about the stories featuring all the characters that you play these games with in this special mini-series from Marvel. Issue 1 of 5. Hopefully this does well, and you Warhammer fans will get plenty more from this universe going forward from the greats at Marvel. And that is it. There's plenty more comics coming out this week, not just the 5 I've spoken about. Some really, really good stuff hitting stores. So leave you some notes in the comments below of what you're reading, what you'd like me to talk about in future. Maybe give me some recommendations. I can't read everything as much as I'd like to. I read plenty. But yeah, always happy to get your recommendations for more comics. And your comments may help other viewers move on to something that maybe they wouldn't have thought about reading before. As we said earlier, all these comics are available at Collectors Assemble, who have a store in the UK in Banbury and Oxfordshire, as well as a Facebook page and an online store, so you can get all these comics and more from them. All there is for now to say is I will see you next week. Until then, enjoy your comics.